Hey guys, like, comment, subscribe. We're just back with a quick video NFL update. JJ Watt, Houston Texans have mutually agreed to part ways. I mean, as Texans fans, this is just like the worst offseason ever. Last worst 2 years ever. First, you guys trade DeAndre Hopkins for basically peanuts, and then you go through this year at 4-12, your worst year in forever. Your quarterback, Deshaun Watson, who's like next to Patrick Mahomes, probably the best young quarterback in the NFL. He wants out. JJ Watt, maybe the best defensive player of the last decade. He wants out. Like this Texans team, they're just falling apart, man.
And it's funny that you say that. Of course, they were 4-12 last year, and this was the first year in a little bit that JJ was actually healthy. And he being their franchise player essentially, and still only going 4-12, doesn't really shine that bright. I understand why Houston's doing it. Of course, there was a little bit of friction. JJ sat down with the owners and said that he wants out, and they granted it for him. It does help them in a way because they were 13.5 million over cap. He had a non-guaranteed year that's coming up here. It was for 17.5 million. It was guaranteed, but the money wasn't guaranteed, is what it was. And it gets him underneath the cap. So I understand it's a good move for kind of both parties right now. You just kind of wish that being that last year was essentially a lost year, they could have got some value for him. They could have traded him somewhere, got something out of it. They just feel like they missed an opportunity, and they missed 10 years of an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely weren't very successful really in any playoff run. So I would agree that there was a lot of wasted talent there. And yeah, I mean, people are probably going to say, oh, they wouldn't have got much for JJ Watt. But in reality, even if you get a fourth round pick in the NFL, that could be your
Okay.
next guy. Like
Yeah.
picks in the NFL mean a lot. So I agree that like they could have at least got something for JJ Watt, and that's what makes it look very bad for the Houston Texans. Where yeah, maybe people would, like you said, say, hey, you know what? We're under the cap now. He probably would have left after another year anyways. If Watson leaves this year, like the team would have been shit regardless, for lack of better words. So, like you said, from that perspective, it makes sense. It's just like again, such a great talent. This guy, it's not even like he's that old either. Like you said, obviously this year was his first healthy year in a while. But as long as you have a healthy JJ Watt, you have one of the best defensive ends in the game. And yeah, when he just literally comes into your room when your franchise is already in shambles and says, like, hey man, I want out too, it just looks so bad.
Houston sports it's a rough spot right now. It's just in general for multiple leagues. With that being said, though, where do you think he's gonna go? Like, of course he's gone. No more Texans, no more JJ Watt. Where's he going next?
Yeah, I mean, like because the way it fell down, it would be like great to see him go to like the Titans, a division rival, and just have to play the Texans multiple times per year. But realistically, I think like the number one spot is probably the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, defensively, they're a great team. Mike Tomlin is just known for his defense. Even 2 years ago, when they had the worst offense in the league, they almost made the playoffs strictly on their defense. And this year, for throughout most of the year, was similar. And I mean, also his brother, TJ Watt, being there, I think that's a big element. Watt, obviously a great linebacker, being able to have JJ playing on the end, and they support each other a lot. I know obviously that Aaron Donald tweet comes out a few days ago, and just in general, JJ's always talked up TJ about how good he actually is. So people actually kind of got behind him based off that and got to see, oh, this guy's actually as good as JJ. So I think that would be the number one spot if I had to pick, honestly.
And it's funny because usually whenever we're doing videos like this where people are leaving a team and we're trying to predict where they're going to go next or who's going to be there next, usually we have differing opinions. I don't really have a different opinion on this one. I was thinking of potentially throwing out a team like Tampa out there just if he really wants to go for a Super Bowl, go for the goal. But it doesn't seem like that's what he's opting out for. He, as you said, he's had support for his brother for a long time. I'm not even sure if he's ever played with his brother outside of, I'm sure they practice together all the time. And in the off season, they work out together. But on a field together, I don't think they've played at a high level organized football together before.
Mhm.
So this is just a great opportunity for him to go back. He's already made a crap ton of money. Of course, if another team, like say someone like Green Bay or someone along those lines, offered him double the amount of what someone like the Steelers would, maybe he considers it. But at this point in his career, he's probably not getting a $17.5 million next year. He just opted out from that. it just seems like a great reunion for him to go and play with his brother, and they actually have a very competitive team.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 17.5 mil for a guy who, as good as JJ still can be, only had 5 sacks in his last healthy
Go
full
down.
year this year. Yeah, so he's probably not going to get that. But like you said, if the Packers come in and they're giving him a 10 to 12 mil contract and the Steelers, it's like 4 to 5, maybe. But I mean, this is also a guy who donated how much to the Houston Relief Fund during the hurricane. So we know money's not a huge issue for JJ Watt. Like he just cares about playing football, playing for a good team, and enjoying himself out there. So that's why too, like I think Pittsburgh would be really good. He would enjoy himself there. I think that's the big thing.
And that's the biggest thing, right? And that's what kind of what if you guys haven't seen yet, go to his Twitter, go watch his video, especially Texan fans. He gives a lot back to the community. He has a great deal of respect for the city of Houston. He has a great deal of respect for almost everyone around the league at this point. And yeah, it's gonna go and be happy somewhere. So that's the biggest thing I think in my opinion. What I see his situation after watching his video, talking about how he came out and asked for this to happen. Now, it's not like a lot of other NFL players. These money's not guaranteed because the owners typically are cutting people out of the last year. But for JJ, it wasn't because a team move. It was for the betterment of JJ Watt, and just so happens for his bettering himself, it's not with Houston. So I definitely think that him going and rejoining his brother, getting a bit of joy to football again, will go a long way.
Yeah, but let us know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you soon with some more content.